Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my live stream. My name is Ishmael Perez, and I'm the author of those two amazing books right behind me, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, revealing the true history between the war between the Cabal and the Alliance, and then, of course, our cosmic origin, restoring galactic history back to the Earth. For those that don't know me, I am a cosmic ambassador, and my talent is that I'm able to access intergalactic records, stellar knowledge regarding what's been happening beyond this world as to I give these reports and briefings. So it turns out that there are a lot of things that are actually happening. Again, it's, ever since 3A Atlas has returned to our solar system. And the reason I say return is because it has been here several times in prior epochs. There's been a series of councils and new treatises that have been forming in what is known as the Jupiter Command. Now, a lot of you guys are going to love what I have to say today, so bear with me. I also wanted to thank each and every single one of you guys for being here. Without you guys, I wouldn't have an audience. And also for those that watch it on the replay, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. All right, with that have said, I would like to get right into it. First of all, I hope you guys are having a beautiful Monday, and it is the 19th, I believe, the 19th of November. And yes, my friends, we are still on a positive timeline trajectory. All right, so for those with the multidimensional sensitivity to actually begin to perceive beyond the veils, the cosmic clearing records, which are not available to anyone, is something that is been preserving the files of the activities of breakaway groups all throughout history, not just the modern day ones, and of course with the different interplanetary and interstellar councils that are taking place right now within our solar system. Okay, so um, bear in mind that the cosmic records that pertain to the archives or that are held within the archives of the Jupiter Command are actually living streams of encoded light intelligence. So they are a little different than, a book with words. So when we access these higher records or these archives, we have to do it through higher consciousness. And this is one of the ways in which I'm able to do that. And of course, these records do reveal the ongoing negotiations that have been going on from behind the scenes, unbeknownst to the surface world, alliances and energetic restructuring between the Earth's breakaway groups and, of course, the intergalactic councils that have been operating within the Jupiter's high density fields for millions of years. All right, well, first and foremost, Solar Warden, as many of you guys already know, is our interplanetary police force and has had a seat within the Galactic Council, or what we call the Jupiter Command, since the 1960s. Okay. Solar Warden has advanced to a Type 2 civilization from behind the scenes, which is about 2,000 years ahead of the surface world. And so now Solar Warden has been operating not only as a third dimensional vessel, but as a multi-dimensional fleet tasked with monitoring our solar system activity and protecting emerging civilizations. So Solar Warden's primarily function is not only within the physical visible universe, but also within the etheric strata of our solar system, especially within the fifth and sixth densities. That's how advanced they are. And one of the ways in which they were able to advance into those densities is because they have learned to master what is known as interdimensional physics. Okay, so they are using technology. This is pre-ascension advancement to fifth and sixth densities through technology. So there are other ways to go into those higher dimensions, but it's best to do it naturally. Okay, so this is where a timeline, you could say that because they are now operating in the fifth and sixth density beyond the third and fourth, where the timeline engineering and energetic defense are actually being carried out as I speak right now. And so Solar Warden's mission since the 1960s, since it was developed by the White Hats through the Navy, William Tompkins, is to safeguard the Earth during its consciousness transition, which is what's happening right now, okay? And also to monitor off-world contact and maintain balance during the current timeline bifurcation that is almost here. And of course, not to mention coordinating with councils, as they have now taken a seat as delegates within the Jupiter Command that oversee planetary ascension. So, on the other hand, For those who don't know who the Jupiter Command is, it is an intergalactic council that resides on Jupiter. Okay, it's been here for millions of years, operating on higher densities that are imperceptible to the naked eye or to our scientific instruments. So the Jupiter Command in higher dimensions has never left. It's always been here. It has been portrayed as a vast, I guess the word is citadel of councils, templates, and command hubs. And these councils include the main one being the Jupiter Command, which is the energetic strategist of timeline stabilization. The next one is the Pan Galactic Accord Council, which are mediators between all the different star nations that are meeting within the Jupiter Command. It's called the Pan Galactic Accord Council. Also, part of the Jupiter Command is the Solar Assembly of Elders, the Solar Assembly of Elders, and that includes the solar architects from Prime Aurelius Prime, which is the planet that launched 3i Atlas. And overall, they are the keepers of evolutionary law regarding the Solar Assembly of Elders and the solar architects, as they do come from a Type 3 civilization. Okay. Now, these councils, they don't rule the way governments do here on the earth. Okay. They don't have hierarchies, they have positions. Depending on your talents and your gifts, you have positions. And the council is very egalitarian. Okay. It's based on a true democratic vote where they vote for certain things, so they regulate overall the harmonics of planetary development, especially right now as the Earth is undergoing it's the most huge transition ever in the history of the planet, ensuring that there are no artificial interferences that might disrupt a world that is undergoing ascension. Case in point, the Earth. So the cosmic clearance records. Recent energetic records have indicated that before the arrival of 3i Atlas, tension between Solar Warden's tactical approach and the Jupiter's council-based diplomacy were actually increasing, okay? And the reason being is because the Jupiter councils were favoring a long-range evolutionary timing, right? They're all about the right calibration. When the Earth hits a certain critical mass, right? When the frequency is there, then the Earth is ready to ascend. On the other hand, for the last decade, Solar Warden was more about interfering and making sure that we have some sort of an ascension event as soon as possible. Okay, so they were pleading to the Jupiter Command to just eliminate the cabal, right? And just bring about a mass awakening that would in turn trigger the vibrational frequency so that the Earth could once again be going into a higher dimension. So since then, Solar Warden's main task has been closer to Earth's density as they do operate in the sixth dimension. They perceive more immediate risk that were related to timeline instability, psychic interference, and unauthorized dimensional incursions, as well as suppress human awakening. So they have been making sure that that there are no entities that are suppressing human awakening, and that's part of their task as well. Which is why they completely oppose the corrupt Federation between 2016 and 2025, right? Since it was recently liberated. Well, this has led to strategic disagreements on how quickly humanity should be prepared for interstellar integration. Okay, so one of the things that Solar Warden was trying to do was they had been requesting for quite some time, I think ever since 2012 and 2013, right around that time, the Solar Warden, they have been petitioning the Jupiter Command for a stronger shielding frequencies around the Earth to protect the grid from destabilizing influences. And then, of course, the Jupiter Command offered that. But at the same time, the Jupiter councils have countered that Earth's initiation also requires exposure to certain cosmic energies in order to have DNA activation, which will mark the next stage of our organic evolution, right? Becoming galactic humans once again. Well, this disagreement between what Solar Warden won in the last decade was currently one of the main points of negotiation that eventually led to the Jupiter Accords that began initiated around the year 2016 and 17. Okay, and this is what led to the overall decision to bring the full disclosure now. Okay, so the core of the issue from behind the negotiations between our Solar Warden space fleet and the Jupiter Command, well, at the heart of this debate lied one question, and that was how fast should the Earth ascend? Okay, well, Solar Warden believed that Earth must be protected always to ensure survival through the shift. Okay, they knew that this day would come, this conversional, this dimensional conversion, right? Causing the bifurcation into or the split of worlds, right? The organic timeline and the technocratic dystopia. They knew this day would come. So the question was, how fast should the Earth ascend? Well, the Jupiter councils believed for a decade that Earth must always be challenged to fully activate its latent potential. Okay, so that's the reason why they had some sort of minor dispute for about a decade, but they were still working together for the overall protection of the Earth and our solar system until, of course, the arrival of 3i Atlas. And that totally just changed everything, guys. They completely were able to finalize the last Jupiter Accord as of a week and a half ago, which demanded the dismantling and elimination of the corrupt Galactic Federation, right? Okay, I've already mentioned that, but let's continue here. For a decade, both perspectives, both Solar Warden's perspective and Jupiter Command's perspective, were very, very valid, and both were actually very necessary. Right? They had a lot of common ground. They were both for the ascension and the protection of the Earth, and the negotiations are part of aligning these paths, especially with the implementation of what later became known as the Jupiter Accords. So the most recent energetic, you could say, solutions. The best way to describe this is that the current status in the cosmic records, according to the current status in the cosmic records, is that the most recent energetic findings are suggesting that there is some sort of a common plan that is now being formed. And a lot of that has to do with the arrival of 3i Atlas, which is what? Us coming from the future when the Earth becomes repositioned at the center of the galaxy and evolves into Aurelius Prime, right? A Type 3 civilization 200,000 years from now. So also, part of this common ground is that Solar Warden will maintain protective oversight even after the ascension of the Earth. Solar Warden will continue to operate through Space Force, all right? And I've already mentioned that Space Force is the outer vehicle of Solar Warden, and this is how they're going to bleed out all of these advanced, technologies into the general public. Also, Jupiter councils will always regulate, though, the cosmic influx, okay, which has a lot to do with the cosmic energies that are coming into our solar system, and also star seeds. So this is a message for you guys from the Jupiter meetings, is that star seeds will anchor in the harmonics needed for integration. And again, integration is what true ascension is. Okay, we're not leaving the Earth. We are reintegrating with our galactic avatars. So the collaborative approach that is now being taken place, even though it seems a little complex, it is actually expected to stabilize the transition period that Earth is now moving through as her frequency continues to rise. So a little explanation on how the Jupiter Command oversees planetary advancements. Well, for many star seeds, the Jupiter Command, is not fiction. Of course, you guys know that it is part of a memory, right? We did lose a war about 2 million years due to the infiltration of our solar system through a portal in Mars, which I explained in the Galactic and Cosmic History. Again, if you have not taken my Cosmic Origin class, I suggest that you guys do. But in either case, let's continue here. My sound? All right, thank you. It's all the way up. So how did the Jupiter Command oversee planetary advancement? Well, first of all, it's always been a beacon of galactic coordination. Since the Earth and our solar system was first seeded millions of years ago, okay? In the 3D, of course, we also know that Earth has already existed prior in higher dimensions. But overall, the Jupiter Command was located within the etheric realms of Jupiter. Again, Jupiter exists on different on different dimensional realms or different bands and frequencies that are imperceptible to the naked eye. And as a planet, often seen in the physical, because all we see in the physical is this gas giant. Well, that's the 3D that we see, but it's much more multi-layered than that, okay? The Jupiter Command has operated on these higher harmonics that are apparently been invincible to human instruments, as to why we only see it as a gas giant, right? According to the 3D Newtonian observations. Yet deeply, by those who are, of course, in tune with their galactic origin, are actually able to sense more of an energetic connection to it, okay? Because a lot of us were there. A lot of us were serving within the Jupiter Command when the fallen ones, the dark forces, took over the affairs and destroyed the first seeding millions of years ago. Okay. And we were like, oh my God, I can't believe we let this happen. And that's why we have returned to make sure that we don't repeat that history. So, in neither case, these beings that operate within the Jupiter Command, and a lot of you guys are still there, by the way, operating on a galactic avatar. Now you're also here. So you could exist in both places at once. Okay. With no memory of there, but eventually that memory will come as we integrate. Well, these beings from the Jupiter Command have always functioned in service to Source, okay, and in cooperation with other major galactic councils, such as the Andromedan High Council, the Arcturian Healing Collectives, and the Pleiadian Emissaries of Light. So Jupiter's position is the solar system in the solar system is not by accident, guys. It acts as a gravitational guardian, observing or deflecting rogue energies and objects. In the energetic realm, the Jupiter Command performs a similar function. It filters, directs, and stabilizes energetic currents entering Earth and other developing worlds. And in a little bit, I'm going to share some of the intergalactic briefings that have been discussed within the last few days. And you guys are going to love what they have planned for the Earth. Okay, so bear with me. One of the key missions of the Jupiter Command is to monitor the consciousness trajectory of evolving planetary civilizations within our solar system. Okay. And for those that didn't know, in higher layers of reality, there are other planets, exoplanets. Okay. These planets, I believe there's a total of 46 or 48, but I'm going to go over that in a little bit just to explain the hyperdimensional universe. But overall, part of the objective, or you could say function, of the Jupiter Command has always included tracking vibrational shifts in planetary grids and timelines, observing collective thought patterns to assess mass readiness for higher knowledge, coordinating soul migrations and incarnating or incarnational waves of star seeds. And this has been going on since the 40s, 50s, and 60s up until the present, and wanderers and light workers, and transmitting encoded light intelligences into the consciousness field to assist with the awakening, okay, that is now happening on the Earth. And also, last but not least, intervening when lower density forces attempt to override planetary free will. So that's been the main purpose of the Jupiter Command. Okay, so in this oversight is never about control. Okay, it's always one of sacred stewardship. The Jupiter Command has always operated under the universal law of the one infinite creator, always honoring the sovereignty of all beings, even those beings that exist in the hyperdimensional solar system consisting of 46 planets, believe it or not, and has always been providing essential support during the pivotal moments of transitions. And apparently, the Earth has been through so many transitions, right? So many epochs. Civilizations have risen and fallen. I mean, there is a whole strata of records pertaining to civilizations that have existed way before the flood. Anyhow, so why Jupiter? Some of you might be thinking, well, because Jupiter is also its unique, you could say, energetic signature is expansive, protective, and deeply wise. And it also mirrors its role in both astrology and galactic governance. So it has always been kind of like the protector of our solar system. And there is no coincidence that in mythology, Zeus, who the Sumerians called Enlil, is also Jupiter, right? Guardian of the earth. Anyways, just as astrologers have always seen Jupiter as a planet of growth and higher learning, so too is the Jupiter command a source of spiritual acceleration. Their presence has always brought expansion of consciousness, philosophical awakening, and alignment with one's higher path. So the beings who serve in this command are from advanced civilizations like the Lyrans, the Blue Avians, and this is why the Blue Avians, also known as the Carrions, had returned in masses, right, through those big spheres that came in through our sun in 2015-16 to create a barrier in around our solar system. And of course, the Syrian High Orders. The Syrian High Council also has a seat within the Jupiter Command, as well as other highly evolved human-like races from other dimensions. Well, some members are also hybrids and light beings with no physical form who rarely incarnate but communicate through dreams, telepathy, and subtle energetic nudges. Well, they wanted me to share this with you guys. Many starseeds on Earth carry the codes from Jupiter Command. Okay. Jupiter Command was an outpost for us millions of years ago, right? When we were serving within the galactic councils, either because we were trained there before, and this is all in the records, this is all in the archives. And then, of course, we forgot about that when we incarnated these days or nowadays. But overall, it's important to understand that the codes that we carry from the Jupiter Command, either because we were trained there before and these memories will return before incarnating now, or because they are in active psychic and energetic communication with its emissaries. Okay, a lot of starseeds have been used in the super soldier programs. And yes, there are versions of you or alters of you that are still in these programs that are communicating with your human civilian counterpart. And this includes often receiving downloads of strategic insight about planetary systems, feeling a deep resonance with Jupiter is part of that. Okay, it's because you've not only served there millions of years ago, but because you are currently serving there as a super soldier. Okay, and also experiencing dreams involving temples. If you guys have these dreams, chances are is that you guys were once stationed on Jupiter, right? Or still could be. Ships, seeing ships in dreams, or even councils that are stationed around Jupiter's orbit. And then there's also holding an inner knowing of Earth's galactic role in timeline shifts is a big part of being part and serving within the Jupiter Command. Okay, so the star seeds on the Earth are the ambassadors of this integration. Okay, and this is the reason why we are helping the Earth align with the greater galactic community when we begin to activate, and that will precipitate disclosure. By the way, so it's near. The Earth is undergoing her consciousness upgrade right now because of all of this that's happening. Okay, the Jupiter Command is continuing to fine tune the frequency bandwidth surrounding the planet, adjusting flows of cosmic energy to help stabilize the awakened process. And they work in coordination with the solar councils. I've already mentioned that within the sun, you have this thing called the solar council, which are these advanced beings from a type 4 civilization that are existing there, okay, which channel solar flares for DNA activation and the lunar gatekeepers who guide emotional integration. So this is not just about the Earth, my friends, okay? This is about the interconnected ascension of countless worlds that are going to be triggered through the Earth's ascension. Earth's evolution is a catalyst, okay, according to the Jupiter archives. It is a catalyst. As we rise, when we ascend, we create resonance across the entire galactic grid for many worlds to ascend. So the Jupiter Command is not here to save us. Also, they are here to empower us, to remind us, and to walk beside us through this great cosmic initiation that we are all going through together. Okay, so now the purpose behind the consciousness upgrade that is taking place right now on the Earth has a lot to do with this galactic convergence which is taking place as well. And in a little bit, I'm going to be revealing, or at least sharing with you guys, some of the new plans that that came out of these briefings, based on the different intergalactic councils that are now meeting on the Jupiter colonies. So this planetary shift is part of a cosmic realignment. Okay, it is a recalibration of the Earth's frequency in preparation for its re-entry into the galactic community. That is the main reason, but there's more. Okay, because as you guys know, for quite some time we existed in a very low frequency, as we still do, but we're about to get out of that very low frequency, right? um, and we've kind of forgot, especially since the fall of Atlantis, we lost memory of our multidimensionality, right? But the cycle is now ending, right? A new era is upon us. Let's just call it a new cosmic era, and I'll explain in a little bit. You guys are going to love some of the briefings that are actually taking place right now regarding what's going to be happening with the Earth. So a new era is emerging now, okay? They call it the Age of Remembrance, where humanity is being called to actually reconnect with its star origin, right? Multidimensional integration with their soul's mission and the interdimensional nature. So the consciousness upgrade is a system-wide activation. It's not just happening here on the Earth, it's happening all throughout the hyperdimensional universe, including within our own solar system, in the hyperdimensional solar system, where there are about 46 planets. All right, so the consciousness upgrade is happening. It's a system-wide activation encoded within the DNA of humanity, waiting for the right cosmic frequencies to awaken it. So those frequencies are now arriving through the solar flares, and they are ramping, right? The Schumann resonance is spiking, and the transmissions of light from stellar groups like the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, and the Jupiter command. So the purpose is, of course, the returning to unity consciousness. And at its core, the consciousness upgrade is not about gaining new information. It is about remembering what has always been known. Think about that, guys. It's about remembering what has always been known. We just forgot, okay? It is a reawakening to the truth of unity, oneness, and the interconnectedness of all life. Well, star seeds, which are the advanced souls that are now down here in the millions, play a very vital role in this shift. Many of us volunteered to incarnate during this lifetime, not only to witness the transformation, but to be a bridge between worlds. Think about that, bridge between worlds, okay? Our codes within our DNA, along with our memories and missions, were actually seeded long before our birth, and they are now being reactivated. And as we begin to awaken, we awaken others. It's like a domino effect, okay? So we are not here to escape the Earth. We are here to assist in its evolution. And yes, that includes the plant kingdom as well as the animal kingdom. So the consciousness upgrade is not isolated, of course, to the Earth, okay? This is the greater mission as to why many different galaxies, billions of galaxies, are sending representatives to meet here in our solar system, guys. This is huge, okay? What happens here apparently echoes throughout the galaxy and other galaxies. Earth's ascension makes a pivotal turning point, a healing of ancient galactic wounds, a harmonization of distorted frequencies, and the opening of a gateway to universal unity. So the shift here is being watched very carefully. It's being supported by countless beings across the many stars. And this sacred transformation that Earth is moving from a planet of learning through suffering to a planet of wisdom through embodiment, right, is something that is being witnessed by all kinds of ETs. Okay, so the physical realms apparently becomes the canvas for soul's expressions and not suppression. And the consciousness upgrade is not something coming, it is happening now. Okay, it is subtle, it is powerful, and irreversible. Nothing can stop what's coming, guys. Every choice made from love, okay, every moment of inner alignment contributes to this grand evolution. Whether you are just awakening or have been walking the path for lifetimes, know this, that you are here on purpose and for a purpose. Every single one of you, okay? We are not just witnessing history, guys. We are making it together. Okay. So now this is coming from the archives as well, from the Jupiter archives as well. They want me to explain the certain activities that have been going on with the breakaway groups in terms of the hyperdimensional universe that apparently um, conceals 46 other planets in our solar system, guys, okay, on different levels or layers of dimensional bandwidths. Let's just call them layers of reality. There are other planets that are imperceptible to our eyes and the scientific instruments. Okay, they want me to explain a little bit more of this. So, as you guys know, we as humans have only believed that our solar systems appear to only embody 9 planets, right? That's what we're told, plus the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, Kuiper, not Kuiper, Kuiper belt, I called it Kuiper, and the Oort cloud, okay? And the 9 planets. Well, technically 12, with Nibiru coming in every 3,600 years. Well, that's what we think because we're only seeing it from the 3D, okay? Um, However, within the secret space programs, right, as they have mastered interdimensional physics, it has long been known that our solar system does not exist only in the density that we perceive. It exists as a stacked multidimensional structure, a hyperdimensional universe where higher layers of reality have revealed a far more complex architecture consisting of 46, I think it's 48 planetary bodies that are orbiting our sun across multiple density bands. What? Okay, well, let's hear about more. Okay, let's hear about this more. The realms are not metaphorical, guys. Okay, they are actually inhabited with intelligent life forms, all 46 planets, very active and strategically crucial in the cosmic struggle that has been unfolding over the last century, ever since our recent secret space program breakaway groups were launched, beginning with the Nazis in 1930 or 1928. Okay, so humanity has only been shown the lowest density version of the solar system, which is the outer shell, making us believe that there are only 9 planets. Well, the deeper truth has been hidden, okay, by breakaway groups and secret societies who have always known about this, who have evolved beyond the Earth long before the public ever imagined flight to the moon. So, according to the deep SSP intel, and a lot of this is coming from the Jupiter archives, of course, our solar system exists as a nested structure where each higher dimensional band reveals additional planets, moons, and interplanetary civilizations. Well, the breakdown looks like this, okay? From a 3D, 4D visible physical band perspective, we only see 9 planets. From a 5D, 6D, 7, 8, and 9D hyperphysical band perspective, there is an additional 17 planets. Now, moving up to the 10th D, which is prematerial plasma, right? Luminal bands, 10, 11, and 12D. There are another 20 planets that are composed of just energy, light, biology, and crystalline life. Wow. Okay. So this means that the majority of humans that evolve to the 4th and 5D are only going to have access, or let's just say the 5D, are only going to have access to the 17 worlds or the 17 planets within our solar system, all the way to the 9D. But for those of you, which is very few of you, who, again, multidimensional integrate to the 10th D and 12 or above, 10 and above, then you're going to have access to the 20 other superluminal worlds that exist within our solar system. That's what that means, guys. Okay. So these worlds are going to be revealed as we continue ascending through the into higher dimensions. So that gives us a total of 46 planetary bodies, each with ecosystems, civilizations, or ancient ruins spanning millions of years. Well, these planets are invincible to the human eye because they apparently vibrate at higher frequencies, okay? They overlay existing orbits. They occupy parallel harmonic layers of the same space. And according to the new evidence through quantum physics, right, all other dimensional realities are occupying the same space at the same time. So there is the evidence. The more we study quantum physics, my friends, the more this information makes better sense. Otherwise, you guys are thinking I am just, out there, right? I am just out there, or I should have been a science fiction writer. No, guys, the more we study quantum physics, the more will all this information make sense. Well, to a being in higher density, the solar system is crowded, luminous, teeming up with life on all 46 planets and alive, a complex celestial metropolis. Okay. But to a human in the 3D, it appears empty with only 9 planets. When Earth's vibration rises and we are set to return back to the Terra Earth, which is a Earth existing in dimensions 4, 5, and 6, which will give us access to 17 more planets, right? According to this revelation from the archives. When the Earth's vibration rises, post solar flash, and the quantum shift takes place, the collective consciousness will naturally synchronize with these higher frequency realities. And at that moment, humanity will finally perceive the full, I guess, 17 planets, right? Dimensions 5 to 7 to 9. But as we continue ascending, once we reach dimensions 10, 11, and 12, then we'll be able to perceive all 46 planets. So these planets are huge luminous, okay? Those that are in the higher dimensional bands, dimensions 10, 11, and 12. Beyond, underneath dimensions 10, 11, and 12, they are still physical, but matter vibrating at such a high frequency that it is like fluid matter. And this is the true cosmic neighborhood, guys, okay? We were born into, and we apparently have been quarantined from the other planets since the fall of Atlantis. Well, the breakaway civilizations and their expansion into hyperdimensional levels within the last 85, 90 years with the Nazi breakaway group known as the Dark Fleet, it has actually started a lot of conflict in the 17 worlds, okay? Those that are in the fourth, fifth, and sixth spans of reality. So you could say we brought war to them, unfortunately, according to the archives. While surface humanity remained restricted, breakaway groups secretly advanced, okay? Over the last 80 years, the Nazi off-world factions, the interplanetary corporate conglomerate that was developed by the Rothschilds in the 1940s, the mid-40s, late 40s, the ICC, and eventually Solar Warden, they all achieved technologies enabling them to move between density layers. And this is why they had access to at least 17 of the planets, right? Existing in dimensional band 4, 5, and 6. They were also able to access hyperdimensional space. This is how advanced the secret space program has been. They were also able to land on planets that humanity did not even know existed within our own solar system. And most importantly, they were able to form interstellar treatises and conflicts. Okay. Treatises that led to conflicts. Of course, the Dark Fleet in the ICC joined with the Draco, the NAA, and their alien overlords. And of course, Solar Warden joined with Jupiter Command, the Galactic Federation of Worlds before it was infiltrated, to defend and fight the war against the dark side. And overall, all of these breakaway groups, they build bases in these higher frequency bands on these other 17 planets that exist within our solar system. And they have manipulated the boundaries between realities. So by the late 1980s, the breakaway civilizations had reached the status of a type 2 civilization, capable of harnessing interplanetary resources and controlling the entire energy system of our local star. Okay, so their presence, the breakaway groups, the secret space program since the 40s, in the higher density solar system did trigger massive tension with those planets that were living in peace. Okay, there was a lot of territorial disputes between the Dark Fleet and some of these worlds, 17 worlds within our solar system. Also, they were battling for resources, okay? Temporal incursions, temporal involving time travel. Conflicts with non-human races took place. Battles across multiple density layers involving the 17 worlds. And so this escalation eventually drew the attention and intervention of the Jupiter Command, okay? So the Jupiter Command, which is known as the Guardian Post has been awaiting for humanity's maturity. Okay. And so long before humanity even started building rockets, a guardian post of the Jupiter Command was stationed in the hyperdimensional bands around Jupiter. And their mission was to monitor the solar system, not just within the three-dimensional solar system, but also on the fourth, five, and six-dimensional solar system, where the other 17 planets are. And also to contain the rise of negative regressives, prevent the Earth from falling under complete domination, and await the emergence of a benevolent human force capable of defending the system, which we later saw with the inception of Solar Warden, the development of Solar Warden. So apparently, the Jupiter Command was waiting for us to develop our own human defense force, and it finally came in the form of Solar Warden. So before Solar Warden, this is what I'm trying to say. Before Solar Warden, the Jupiter Command was our defenders. Period. Okay. They were safeguarding the Ascension timeline ever since. Okay. And it's funny because, again, in mythology, Zeus is Jupiter to the Romans. Well, Zeus was also Enlil to the Sumerians. It's funny how they say he was the bad guy, right? All right. Well, anyways, so one of Jupiter's, you could say, operations is also to safeguard the ascending timeline. And that has always been the case. But they could never directly intervene. Why? Because they do have to abide by the prime directive, right? They're waiting for us to develop our own interstellar or interplanetary police force to begin to work with us, Solar Warden. So the Jupiter Command's protocols do require a native force to rise first in the form of Solar Warden, and that's why they waited. Okay? So that force finally appeared in the form of Solar Warden. Period, guys. A human-led, Earth-loyal secret fleet designed to counterbalance the Nazi Dark Fleet, the interplanetary corporate conglomerate, which was initiated by the Rothschilds, the ICC, and of course the negative extraterrestrial syndicate, right? The negative regressives, the Greys, the Draco, the Zetas, the Insectoids, some of the Mantis. Not all of them were evil, but most. So only Solar Warden was functional, capable of coordinated and infused with next generation super soldier units. That's when the Jupiter Command initiated the house cleansing protocol for our solar system, okay, abiding by the prime directive. Now that Solar Warden is here, right, that emerged out of Earth, right? It's a native organization that was developed by our own Navy, the White Hats, through the White Hats back in the 1960s. Now they could begin the house cleansing protocols. And that's what led to the Jupiter Accords. And what were the Jupiter Accords? Well, the Jupiter Accords was the elimination of the Dark Fleet and the ICC and all of their colonies and infrastructures throughout our solar system, not just in the third dimensional solar system, but in the fourth, five, and six dimensional solar system where there are 17 other planets. So, the public has no knowledge of the wars that took place in these other planets, okay, in the higher layers of our solar system that were waged on behalf of, the Dark Fleet wanted to bring about domination. ICC wanted to make more money or become wealthier as far as exchanging resources and gaining more technology. That's what their main objective was. And then, of course, Solar Warden trying to defend those planets in the higher layers of our solar system. Okay, so nobody talks about those wars. Okay, a lot of this is in the Jupiter archives, and this is why I'm releasing it today, guys. Throughout history, these wars have been known as the hyperdimensional wars. Okay, and a lot of these archives are also stored on Mars, the higher density moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and the planetoids beyond Pluto have never been seen beyond the 3D. Okay, so there are planets beyond Pluto. Okay, so the crystalline worlds of the 10 dimension and above have never been touched. Okay, because they do exist on such a high level of reality that even our own secret space programs weren't able to reach it. It would take them another 50 to 100,000 years to reach the level of the 10th dimension. And that's the reason why those planets within the layer structure of the 10th, 11th, and 12th dimension, the crystalline worlds, weren't touched. Okay, they were left in peace. But overall, guys, It has been revealed within the Jupiter archives that there are also underground cities in the five-dimensional Venusian layer. All right, so Venus is still being occupied on other layers of reality. Um, and so these conflicts that have been taking place in these other layers within our solar system, affecting these 17 worlds that we don't see, included, of course, the negative alien agenda factions that were aligned with the Dark Fleet, the fallen AI collectives, right? The Animists, the Etorians, they were all part of those wars, guys. The Draconian enclaves in Density 7, right? Draconians, I can't even talk. The Draconians were using AI technology to actually advance into the seventh dimension to affect more than just the 17 worlds, but they were blocked by the Jupiter Command. Thank God. Okay. And then, of course, the rogue ICC strike forces. ICC is the interplanetary corporate conglomerate that was created by the Rothschilds. The Dark Fleet bases across hyperdimensional Saturn. Remember, Saturn has always been the hub, right? The interplanetary station of the dark forces, in opposition to Jupiter. Time distortion weapons, portal closing operations, planetary shield collapses, full spectrum cyber energetic battles across multiple densities all the way to the six, taking place within our solar system, and we didn't even know it. And we didn't even know it. Well, these wars were not merely physicals. They were actually fought across different timelines. I did mention the temporal war, right? On different density layers and morphogenetic fields. Well, Solar Warden, despite starting with inferior technology, ultimately succeeded because their superior super soldiers were enhanced on multidimensional levels. The Jupiter Command provided strategic intelligence. The solar flash cycles have weakened the NAA strongholds. And what does that mean? The more the solar system emerges into the photon belt, the harder it is for the dark forces to exist, which makes a lot of sense. Okay. And the Earth's rising vibration is also disrupting the dark timelines. And that's why we are on a steady positive timeline trajectory, guys. So by the mid 2020s, according to the Jupiter archives, most of the NAA, oh, for those that don't know what the NAA is, they are the negative alien agenda, right? Those are the regressive aliens that have aligned with the AI timeline. The Draconians, the reptilians, not all reptilians, most, insectoids, zetas, the Naboo grays, whatever you want to call them. That's what the NAA is. That's the entire negative alien syndicate that many of the galactic humans have been at war with for millions of years throughout the universe. So by the mid 2020s, we did start noticing a huge collapse in the Dark Fleet, right? Due to the rise of Solar Warden and the new Jupiter Accords. We also saw that there was major fracturing taking place within the ICC. So the Ascension timeline became very stabilized as a result of that. And so that was part of the Jupiter Accords, which is the cleansing of our solar system. And this is bringing about the ending of negative breakaway rule. Okay. And I believe that now in 2025, especially due to the arrival of 3i Atlas, there is no more negative influences or these negative breakaway groups still, affecting these other worlds existing on these higher layers of our solar system. So overall, our Solar Warden did prove that humanity could defend itself. All right, they did prove themselves to the Jupiter Command. So the Jupiter Command did launch a coordinated operation to remove the NAA influence from the other 17 planets that we've invaded, not us, but the negative factions, the negative breakaway groups. Also, collapsing the Dark Fleet's infrastructure completely. This happened around 2016, right? When the Blue Avians created a barrier around our solar system, which now led to the dismantling of the ICC industrial exploitation rings. And also, they were able to restore planetary sovereignty across hyperdimensional bands that we can't see, reclaim human assets abducted into off-world slavery, purge synthetic AI infiltrators, and reinstate galactic law within our solar system. Okay. And of course, this led to the restructuring of the Advanced Contact of Intelligent Organization, the ACIO, whose video, by the way, that I made last Saturday. Remember my presentation? I was going deep regarding the different levels of cosmic clearance. Well, that video was deleted, guys, and it wasn't by me. Okay, so apparently there was a lot of stuff there that they didn't want me to share. But in either case, guys, right now there is a huge intergalactic meeting that is taking place, and this has a lot to do with Earth's new purpose after the ascension. Okay. So the intergalactic convergence at Jupiter right now that is taking place, where representatives of billions of galaxies from across many different universes, okay, are actually meeting at the Jupiter command. And this is good. This is good news with what's been discussed at these meetings. Okay. It turns out that I was right. Okay. For those that have taken our cosmic origin class, right, one of the things that I say is that the Earth is going to mark the completion of what is known as the super universe of Orvonton. That's why it's important for you guys to take our cosmic origin class, and you guys will understand the entire cosmic infrastructure and know what I'm talking about. Well, it turns out that due to the seismic shift that is underway right now, one so monumental that even the most ancient civilizations, from the Arcturian Zenith Councils to the Andromedan Emerald Orders, have entered in a state of heightened anticipation for what's about to happen. And let me explain why. At the heart of this cosmic preparation, guys, lies a cluster of intergalactic outposts that are stationed around Jupiter, operating as meeting grounds for delegations arriving from every quadrant of the multiverse within the super universe of Orvonton. Okay, this is fascinating. These meetings are not ceremonial, they are strategic, prophetic, and epoch defining, according to the archives. They are the final coordination sessions before Earth undergoes its next quantum leap. So they are the final coordination sessions right before the Earth undergoes this huge quantum leap, which is a leap that will transform not only this planet, not only this galaxy, but the entire super universe that our universe is a part of, our local universe, and the adjoining universes, of course, that are woven into the omniversal lattice. Okay. And it all begins with what's happening right now, or in and around Jupiter. Well, Jupiter, within the last few weeks, has become the diplomatic heart of the super universe of Orvonton. Not just our galaxy, not just our local universe, but about, I would have to say, millions upon millions of universes. Okay. As mentioned, Jupiter for millions of years has served as an intergalactic neutral zone, right? A guardian, rather, an energetic anchor where dimensional fields remain stable for multiple species to exist on different densities and reality layers in order to converge without interference. Well, it turns out that right now, some of the best way to describe this is that right now, there are many intergalactic councils coming from different universes, delegates representing different federation, right? Coming to be a part of the new Universal Federation. Solar Warden has been attending these meetings, okay? And this is about regarding what's going to be happening with the Earth after the Ascension, okay? And there are 9 primary outposts before I get into what's going to be happening, each operating on distinct dimensional layers, including the Ishara Council Ring of the 8th dimension, the Heliopolite Embassy of the 9th dimension, Arcturian Oharian, and the Luminous Arc Station of the 11th dimension, Future Human Delegation that is tied to 3i Atlas. Fascinating, okay? The Jovian Accord Hall, which is Jupiter, Jovian, right? Which represents 5D all the way to 7D, which is now becoming the nexus for the Universal Federation. That is fascinating, guys, okay? These stations are coordinating strategies for the unfolding intergalactic integration cycle, which is what they call, okay, which begins formally once the Earth completes its ascension, inflection, inflection into the, I guess, the best way to say it, into 2026 to 2028. Okay. So that's the time frame. Okay. Uh, the conclusion is unanimous. Okay. That Earth is about to be elevated to its prophesied role as the intergalactic hub and headquarters of the entire super universe of Orventon. Or let me say that again. Earth is about to be elevated to its prophesied role as the intergalactic hub and headquarters of the entire super universe of Orventon. Wow. Well, this is a huge cosmic prophecy coming into fulfillment, my friend. Okay. Earth as the intergalactic exchange world. They're preparing Earth to become the intergalactic exchange world for many universes. Long before humanity existed in physical form, the Lyran founders did record a prophecy in the emerald tablets of the Ashaya Eri. And this is what they recorded, okay, which is now coming into fruition. This is what they recorded in those tablets millions of years ago. When the youngest world awakens, they called the Earth the youngest world, the oldest stars will bow, and Orventon shall reorganize around the jewel that mastered the descent. Well, who is the jewel that mastered the descent? Earth. Earth has been dropping in frequencies from higher realities for a long time, all the way to the lowest, 3D, right? Earth is that jewel. And this is the reason why the Earth is the most important planet, not only within our universe, but within the entire super universe segment of Orbenton. Okay. So, um, why? Some of you guys might ask, right? Again, if you're new to my channel, I would suggest take my class, Our Cosmic Origin, and you'll understand all these terminologies. I break down the entire cosmic infrastructure, 998 billion years of cosmic history, the different intergalactic councils, the different types of advanced civilizations from type 1 to type 5 in great detail. Okay. My website is ourcosmicorigin.com. Class starts the first week or the last day of November, but it goes into December. 4 classes, okay? 4 classes per course. Anyways, let's continue here. So the Earth is the jewel, okay? It's the crowning jewel. It is the completion of the super universe of Orventon. So why is that? Well, because the Earth did what few planets have ever done. It descended to the lowest densities of consciousness, right? It also became the host of multi-species DNA experiment. We are a living library, right? The greatest living library ever, with the greatest diversity of genetics, all in one planet. Okay, that's the second reason. Third of all, Earth has always endured the infiltration, polarity, distortion, and memory wipe. Fourth of all, and despite all of what Earth has endured, she's still rising again through its own internal awakening cycle. And partly has to do with us coming to help her rise, okay? The star seeds. Well, this is the only planet, my friends, the Earth, that carries the codes of all 12 major universal lineages. Okay, if you're not familiar with the 12 living universes, take my class, Our Cosmic Origin. I explained it all. So Earth is the only planet that carries the codes of all 12 major galactic lineages, making it the most genetically diverse and spiritually potent cradle world in this part of the cosmos. Therefore, the intergalactic councils have agreed right now on Jupiter, as I speak. Guys, I get so excited. If you guys knew, you guys think we're just ascending to a paradise world? Oh my God. There's so many beautiful things ahead of us, guys. Okay, so therefore, the intergalactic councils have agreed in the finalization of the Jupiter Accords that Earth must become the new diplomatic capital of Orventon. All right. Also, that the Earth is going to once again be restored as the intergalactic exchange center of information, as it once was before its fall. Third of all, that the Earth will be the headquarters for technologies of light, resonance, bioagriculture, and plasma culture for millions of universes. And finally, but not least, the library world of the Universal Federation, the newly organized Universal Federation, which billions upon billions upon billions of galaxies are now joining in our solar system as I speak on Jupiter. There's one more thing. The spiritual training ground for billions of civilizations will also be here on the Earth. All right. So we have a bright future to look forward to, my friends. Okay. Earth is becoming what Atlantis once attempted to prototype or to become, but failed, right? Due to the infiltration, of course, they failed to achieve. Also, a living, which is what? A living university planet. Okay. So apparently, this is what Atlantis once tried to do. Okay. But they failed. And that is to make Earth a living university planet, a cosmic common ground, and a meta-human civilization housing emissaries from all over the cosmos. Wow. I need to take a sip of water. This is fascinating information. So that means billions of galaxies will join the Universal Federation. Okay, and they've already started. The meeting around Jupiter has finalized phase 2 of the Universal Federation reorganization plan ever since the defeat of the corrupt Federation 2 weeks ago. Since the defeat of the corrupt Federation. Okay, so under the new structural model, billions of galaxies in Orvonton and eventually from neighboring super universes. Well, there are 6 other super universes within the grand tapestry of the Omniverse. All right, are scheduled to join the Unified Interstellar Accord. And a lot of this is happening. Why? Because the Earth is ascending, and the Earth will be the trigger event for universal harmonic alignment, re-synchronization of timelines across many universes, collapse of obsolete parasitic empires, right? We did win that war at the end of the millennium against the AI god and the technocratic dystopia. So we brought peace to the entire cosmos. We collapsed all those parasitic empires that were being run by the synthetic AIs, right? And not to mention the dissolution of artificial empires that dominated prior cycles. So we are bringing peace to the whole cosmos. Okay, that is what's happening when the Earth ascends. Okay, activation of the cosmic knowledge sharing protocol as well. So Earth will become the center point of this new era because the Earth's ascension is uniquely capable of generating the resonance that aligns with entire universes. So even the elder races have confirmed, the elder races from the 10th, 11th, and 12th dimension. As the Earth rises, so does Orvonton, the super universe that our local universe is a part of. Okay, as Orvonton rises, Orvonton, the super universe of Orvonton, so rises the adjacent universes, and this is why delegations from Andromeda, from the universe of Triangulum, from the universe of Centaurus A, from the Sombrero Galaxy, from M33 and M32 and M31, etc., etc. The list goes on, guys. Billions of galaxies from different universes are all agreeing. They're all signing this contract, okay? That the Earth will be the intergalactic hub. The inner minor universal clusters beyond observable edges are also a part of this, okay? And they're already sending emissaries to Jupiter, my friends, okay? It's happening on a daily basis. Okay, so they are preparing for the great universal synchronization, a once per megacycle event triggered only when one world reaches a threshold of inner light powerful enough to uplift the entire cosmic fabric. Okay, so Earth's ascension is triggering the ascension of our universe. Right? For those that have taken our cosmic origin class, you know what I'm talking about. Ascension is not personal; it is structural. Okay, because Earth is the key planet position at a harmonic intersection of universes, dimensions, and cosmic ley lines. When Earth ascends, her grid will release quantum harmonics into the galactic core, in turn into the central sun of our universe, in turn into the heart of the super universe, which is comprised of millions upon millions of universes. Wow. Okay. The galactic core transmits resonance through the Lanika supercluster, and that's the cluster that our galaxy is a part of. The Lanika supercluster. You guys didn't know, but now you know. Okay. The resonance reverberates into the filaments of the cosmic web through the great central sun of Nebadon. Nebadon is the name of our local universe. And universes that will synchronize into the higher oscillatory field as a result of that. So this is why the Earth's ascension is watched. It's watched by billions upon billions of star nations right now as I speak, right? And this is not symbolic, my friends. This is architectural, okay? Earth is the fuse, the universe is the lantern, and once it's lit, the entire structure activates. So this is why future human delegates, those connected to 3i Atlas of the Aurelian Earth 200,000 years ahead of us, are present at the Jupiter gatherings. They are ensuring that the smooth uplift of the Earth runs good. Also, they're ensuring protection from interference. Nothing can stop what's coming. Also, they are stabilization of the magnetic grids, activation of the crystalline architecture, calibration of the solar flash energies, preparation for intergalactic diplomacy, integration of technologies that will turn Earth into a Type 3 civilization faster than usual, as it first transitions, of course, into a Type 1. But after we transition into a Type 1, it is believed that it's going to be like fast forward. Next thing you know, we're going to be a Type 2 at the end of 1,000 years, where normally it takes 50,000 years. Next thing you know, we're going to be a Type 3 within 20, 30,000 years, when it normally takes about 150,000 years. I mean, yeah, the Earth is going to be advancing fast as a result of this, okay? This means that since the Earth was once part of the integral cosmic community that originated as a Type 4 civilization in the pre-material realms before her descent, will allow her following her ascension to bounce back up in frequency to all 12-dimensional versions of herself, allowing advanced star seeds, incarnates, to have the opportunity to ascend beyond the 5th dimension into higher spiritual levels of the Earth. And if you haven't known yet, the Earth does operate on all 12-dimensional bands, all the way to the 12th dimension, okay? So when the conversion takes place, guys, depending on your frequency, some of you guys are not going into the 4, 5, or 6D Earth. Some of you guys are going to go into the 7th, 8th, or 9th. Some of you guys are going to go into the 10, 11, and 12. All right? And you're going to have access to all these realities. That's what this means. So at this point, it is important to know, to understand, that just like we have higher dimensional versions existing in higher realities, so does the Earth. So as a result of this, they know what Earth is destined to become, because they are its future, okay? That's us coming from the future, right? So every intergalactic meeting near Jupiter has one central message, and that is prepare Earth. She will become the heart of the new cosmic order. The new cosmic era includes the ascension of the meta-human species. That's us becoming our superhuman, our God selves. The restoration of Earth's interstellar identity. The official dissolution of the old corrupt Federation structures, which is a success, and the emergence of the Universal Federation under a new constitution. And yes, my friends, under this new constitution, there will be no AI allowed. There will be no AI influence, okay? We will not repeat the same mistakes of the past. I repeat myself, okay? A new unification between physical, etheric, and higher density civilizations is taking place. And intergalactic travel becoming normalized and regularize. Earth hosting councils. After she ascends, she's going to be hosting all these councils, delegations, academies, and exchange centers where billions of galaxies across many universes are going to be syncing to the new Earth harmonics. And this is not a prophecy anymore, my friends. It is a schedule, a coordinated inner universal event that is now in motion. The era of the Earth as Orvonton's crown world has begun. The meeting near Jupiter are not planning geopolitical shifts, they are planning universal evolution. These councils are preparing the infrastructure, the diplomatic pathways, the consciousness networks, the post ascension timeline, the intergalactic trade and exchange routes that are once again going to be opened, the training that humanity will undergo. A lot of you guys want to be part of Space Force and be part of the galactic fleets. Well, here you go. Here's your chance. The training that humanity will undergo and the stabilization of the Earth as a multi-dimensional capital world. Okay. Earth will become the intergalactic exchange center. That is a fact. The headquarters of Orvonton, the spiritual university of the Universal Federation, and the trigger point for the ascension of entire universes within the periphery of the super universe of Orvonton. And this is the dawn of the new cosmic era, Jedis. Okay. We have won that war at the end of the millennium against Omega. Otherwise, this wouldn't have been happening, right? All time is happening all the time. Study quantum physics, guys. For all my new subscribers, I would suggest to watch a lot of my presentations in order to understand what I said today. So this is the dawn of the new cosmic era, where the Earth is now going to be at the center by design, by prophecy, and by cosmic destiny, my friends, by cosmic destiny. I want to remind you guys that the only classes I still have available for December is our Cosmic Origin and Ascension Basics, and I think even Ascension 2.0. So those classes began the 29th and 30th of November, which is not this coming weekend, but next weekend. All right, so go to my website or cosmicorigin.com so I could see you guys on the live webinar, and it's going to be fun. You guys are going to get to learn a lot of stuff. Okay, especially our Cosmic Origin class, because one of the benefits of taking our Cosmic Origin class is that on the last and final class, by tapping into your higher self, into your energy field, I'm able to decipher what star origin you are, and I could be able to tell you, what type of a star seed you are as a result of that. Okay, so don't forget, guys, that there is this amazing product called Folium that completely eliminates the nanotech, the graphene, all those metals from your body so that your body could have a smooth and steady transformation, right? When we become crystalline bodies. But it also helps to clean up the mitochondria, and it also helps to eliminate parasites. So it's a full body detox. The link is always in the description. And I always also put the links in the comments. I also pin it in the comments. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. But before I do Starseed Envoy program is that a portion of our consciousness was downstream from our galactic avatar into these human bodies. So when I speak about integrating with our galactic avatar, I'm talking about reuniting with that version of ourselves that exist on higher dimensional realities so that we could collapse the different versions into one singular body. All right. And as a result of that, you become a meta-human. You begin to access supernatural abilities because you're operating on different levels of reality, right? All these bodies become one. So I do teach how to actually do that in great detail. Ascension 2.0 and of course Ascension 3.0, where I break down the entire, the different levels of reality and the different yous that exist in these other realities and how to actually collapse your oversoul, which is the true meaning of 144,000. All right. That's the true meaning, by the way. It's nothing to do with just 144,000 people. It has to do with embodying the oversoul. The oversoul exists all the way to dimension 13. Now, that's power right there. If you're able to collapse your 13 dimensional self all the way to your 3D self, you guys are going to be like beyond gods. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We have to integrate with our galactic avatar that is still operating on these higher levels of reality. And that's what Ascension is, by the way. Thank you so much, Nathan Taylor, for your super chat. He says, will everyone be healed on the first, second, or third solar flash? I believe that on the first solar flash, many will be healed. And on the second, that's when the rest of the world will be healed. And the third is more to just allow the younger souls, we call them normies, but these are generally good people who just don't have a clue. That's going to allow them to at least go into the fourth density Earth. Okay. So, yeah, there will be massive healing taking place when these flashes occur. Hi, Ish. Was there a threat to blow up the world to stop the RV? Not that I've heard of, but even if there was, the Galactics wouldn't allow it. Tano2121 is saying, I am new to all of this. I would love to learn about Ascension, but I was wondering which class would you recommend taking first? Well, of course, Ascension Basics. So that way you could have a thorough understanding of what it means to navigate between the 3D all the way to the 5D. And next, Ascension 2.0. So I would start with the basics if you're all new to this. And then that will give you a thorough understanding of the different levels of the Ascension teachings. So yeah, if you guys are all new to this, start with the basics. If you feel like you're advanced and you're ready to quantum shift and you're ready to integrate with your galactic avatar, right? Then take 2.0. And then if you feel like you are so advanced or you just want to collapse and embody your entire totality, all of you, the cosmic self, then take 3. But I would start with 1 for beginners. And for those that are not beginners, I would start with 2, Ascension 2.0. And I believe I do have some spaces left for my December course. Okay, that's going to start the 29th and 30th of November, and it goes into 4 weeks. So every week there is a new class. Each class is an hour. All right, I do have another super chat from Nathan Taylor. Is there going to be regular doctors? I heard that some people will be scared to get in a med bed. Um, I believe that there are going to be new doctors, not the old doctors, right? They sold their soul to the devil, but there are going to be new doctors that are more aligned with these new modalities that are going to be there assisting you. So, yeah, that is correct. There will be there.
What fractal of Zeus is and what Zeus would do? What does a fractal of Zeus do? What is it?
Well, the fractals of Zeus are represented through the Holy Blood, Holy Grail. You know, Zeus, through his bloodline, gave us Abraham, gave us Shem, or Shem, who gave us Abraham, who gave us King David, Solomon, Jesus, Mary Magdalene. So it's the bloodline of the guardians. It's the bloodline of the Holy of Holies. They call it. When they activate their powers, they're going to be like guardians. You know, they're going to be resuming their role as guardians, because you have to understand, when we undergo multidimensional uh, integration, we also collapse with our Atlantean self. All these fractals begin to integrate as one, and so you're going to have access to these abilities once again. Thank you, Hope is Real, for the super chat. Dealing with huge activation symptoms, can't sleep, feeling my brain pulsating, blurry vision, That sounds like Ascension symptoms. Slept 1 hour in a 40-hour period. Definitely Ascension symptoms. Yeah, there was a couple of nights where I only slept a few hours. One night I didn't get no sleep. My brain just kept going. So a lot of it has to do with what's happening right now. We are mutating, guys. We are mutating. So Nathan Taylor says, is there going to be regular doctors? I think I've already read that one. All right, let's continue here. If we are working on different levels of reality, if we feel pain in one reality, will we feel a little of it in our other bodies? No, because they are separated by dimensions. Okay, your consciousness is operating different avatars on different timelines, different dimensions. All right, different realities. There's also alternative Earth realities. So, no, you don't. If you're having pain in one reality, you don't feel it in another reality because those are two different avatars. Okay. But to be honest with you guys, I think that he's expressed that Anunnaki that is under Israel is expressing himself through Netanyahu. Netanyahu is not human. Netanyahu is an expression of that Anunnaki that is underneath Israel. So, in other words, Netanyahu is the Anunnaki. And yes, he will be taken out. He will be safe for last. All right, one more question, guys. One more question. Well, there's a movie called The Age of Disclosure that is coming out Friday. That's probably part of the disclosure. Yeah. I would advise that you guys all watch this from the beginning. There was a lot of information that was shared here today regarding what's happening in and around Jupiter. So, a lot of great news regarding the Earth and the Ascension and what's going to be happening after that. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. How much is your Ascension class? All my classes are cheap, guys. Okay. Each course, which consists of 4 classes, all of them is only $100. So 100, it's only $25 a class, in other words, right? So my classes are cheap. Go to my website or cosmicorigin.com and I'll see you guys in December. I'll talk to you guys oh, by the way, guys, because I will be at my workshop this Saturday, I will not be broadcasting on a live due to my workshop. And of course, 100 of you are going to be watching it from the live stream. I'm going to be sharing the next version of our Cosmic Origin 2.0 for the first time. However, on Friday, I will be going live to give you guys another presentation that the Galactics want me to share with you guys. So I will see you guys in 2 nights for another presentation. May the God Force be with you all. Always. We'll see you guys soon.